In today's video, we're going to be talking about diversifying the silver stack with other types of money, other types of currency, and other types of metal. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well, feeling great, and enjoying freedom. It's a great day to have a great day. Today, I wanted to talk about silver stacking diversification. I want to talk about a variety of different types of metal. I want to talk about some precious metals, some industrial metals, even some currency. Diversifying the stack with silver, gold, platinum, cash, and copper. We're going to get into it, but really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe for daily videos, subscribe to my second channel for weekly videos, and get some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel. I'd really appreciate it. We got the brand new Lone Wolf collection out now, 4 different colors, and of course, a portion of the proceeds are going towards the International Wolf Center. Any and all merchandise can be found by clicking the first link in the description section down below. Thank you in advance, it's more than appreciated. But today is August 21st, which is Saturday, except I'm filming this video on Friday. It's still the 20th as I'm recording, so I have no idea what the spot price is going to be by the time this video drops. So head on down to the comments and let me know the date and time you're viewing the video and what the current spot price is for you. I'm always curious. But today I wanted to talk about diversification. So as we can see on screen, we have mostly silver. And this is kind of like a visual representation of what the stack looks like for me, because I have far more silver than any other metal. I have way more silver than gold, and I definitely have more silver and gold than I do copper. But I think cash is really important to stack as well. And you can always spice things up with a little bit of platinum and palladium if you choose to. Now I'm going to run down the list: silver, gold, cash, and copper, and then platinum, palladium, and other miscellaneous metals as well. And I'm going to talk about the importance of diversifying, not just with other types of metals, but different types of pieces of the same metal, starting with silver first and foremost. Majority of people who watch this channel, silver is their precious metal of choice. So when it comes to silver, the reason I predominantly stack silver more than any other metal is just because, number one, it was the precious metal that I was introduced to. I was taught about silver before I started to understand the importance and the power of gold. But it was the first precious metal that I really truly discovered and started to understand. And I also came to the conclusion on my own that I believe silver has the most room to grow and perform over time, which is why it's my precious metal of choice. I understand that it's a precious metal, but it's also an industrial metal. I understand that it has over 10,000 different uses, 10,000 different jobs. I just made the same mistake as I made last week by forgetting to plug in the microphone. There we go. I understood how important of a metal silver really is. I started to learn a little bit more about the global silver demand. I started to understand just how important and crucial and mandatory silver is for a good portion of the world to even simply function. So I understood a variety of different factors. I understood that when currency gets weaker, real, true, honest money gets stronger. I understood that when the value of the dollar bill begins to go down, the value or strength of the spot price of silver tends to go up. So that was one reason that I knew silver could grow. But the other reason that I knew silver could grow was simply the global silver demand. Now that we're moving more and more and more into a tech and digital world, silver is just going to simply become more and more important. It's used in batteries, it's used in cars, it's used in electronics, it's used in microchips, it's used in computers, it's used in solar panels, it's used in so many different things. And like I said, now that we're moving even further into the digital age, I would assume that silver is just going to become even more in demand and even more used in all of these different industries, transitioning into the techie digital world. That's just my opinion. I don't know for sure. I can't see the future. But now let's move on to gold. Shortly after I started stacking silver, which by the way I started at the very end of 2017, and I would say maybe March or April, if I had to guess. I'm not exactly sure. I went and picked up my very first piece of gold. It was just a little 1 gram gold bar, which I still have. It's not on screen at the moment, but in the bottom right corner over there, you can see that I have some 10th ounce and quarter ounce gold coins from a variety of different countries. I picked up my very first piece of gold mainly for diversification. I kind of wanted to get the ball rolling. I started to understand the importance of diversification and the fact that you never really want to put all your eggs in one basket. Now, of course, silver and gold, they're both precious metals. They're both in the same realm. They're both, oftentimes, if you ask most people, they kind of go hand in hand, but they're very different metals for completely different reasons. They are not just different colors. They weigh different. A troy ounce of gold and a troy ounce of silver, yes, they both weigh a troy ounce, but silver, it takes more silver to equate to a troy ounce than it does gold. If you put a 1 ounce silver coin and a 1 ounce gold coin next to each other, the gold coin is actually significantly smaller. It's like a pound of rocks versus a pound of feathers. You know that analogy or whatever you want to call it? You know how they always used to say, what's heavier, a pound of rocks or a pound of feathers? Neither. They weigh the same. They both weigh a pound, except it takes more feathers to equate to a pound than it does rocks. Anyway, I started to understand the importance of diversification and that you're never going to want to put all your eggs in one basket. I started to really appreciate the beauty of gold, by the way. I mean, let's take a look at just this one coin. Quarter ounce Philharmonic. I mean, it's just a beautiful metal, but like I said, it's not just a different color. They have different weights, different melting points, different uses in different industries. Very different metals for very different reasons. So I figured, I was like, well, since they're such different metals, maybe I can stack both metals for different reasons. At the end of the day, it's all wealth preservation and a store of value. But silver, like I said, in my opinion, from my perspective, not a financial advisor, but I believe silver has far more room to grow and perform over time, whereas gold, I don't really see it as something that's going to grow the way that I believe silver can grow. I think gold is a much more stable metal. I think gold is something that people rely on for stability during times of economic instability, which is what I like to use gold for. Of course it can grow. I just personally don't believe it's going to grow at a rapid pace like I think silver has the ability to. I mean, think about it. For silver to double in value from where it is right now, it would be almost $50, which was silver's all-time high. Gold to double in value would have to go all the way up to almost $4,000, which it's never done before. So I weighed out the pros and the cons, and I decided both metals were metals for me. Moving on to the next metal. Copper. Not a precious metal. It's an industrial metal. A beautiful industrial metal. See, we talked about silver, the white metal. We talked about gold, the yellow metal. We didn't talk about copper yet. The beautiful red metal. I mean, look at this right here. This I got several years ago. This is something that I didn't always have in a capsule, so you can see it's actually gotten a little bit dark over the years. I think I actually picked this up the same day I picked up my very first piece of gold, so March or April of 2018, I think. I could be wrong. But I have a newer piece of copper right here. Look at that. Look how, it's just unreal how beautiful that is. Maybe I'm thrown off by the fact that it's an Aztec calendar around similar to that one right there, which is just as beautiful, but just the color. Unreal. So copper is another really important metal. And I don't want to really say that I stack copper, because I definitely don't. I don't convert my dollars into it. I don't really go out of my way looking for it. I stack copper when it's free. I stack copper when I just simply stumble upon it. Of course, those two pieces I converted my dollars into. The first one was my very first piece of copper ever. I didn't really understand the premiums at the time. And then that last one was just because I really wanted to get that Aztec calendar. I was a huge fan of the silver Aztec calendar, so why would I not? This right here, this is a 2 ounce, 3/9 fine copper bullet-shaped bar, I guess you can say. That was given to me as a gift. And my main way of stacking copper is just by going through loose change. Anytime I stumble upon a pre-82 penny, I know that it's 95% copper. And if it is a 1982, I know I have roughly a 50-50 chance on whether or not it's 95% copper. Because in 1982 is when they started to switch things up. No longer 95% copper pennies, but pre-82, I hang on to them. And what's funny about pre-82s is the fact that if you have enough of them, I believe 9, it equates to an ounce of copper. Now, like I said, copper is an industrial metal, not a precious metal, so it's not weighed in troy ounces, it's weighed in regular ounces. I know it's confusing, but 9 copper pennies equate to about an ounce of copper. And if you do the math, at least a year or two ago, an ounce of copper, it's dirt cheap, by the way. Copper, at the time, each copper penny was worth about 2 cents. Face value was worth 1 cent, but according to the melt value of copper, it was worth between 2 and 3 cents. Over the course of 2020 into 2021, we've actually seen the spot price of copper nearly double. Copper is a very important metal. It's a very versatile metal. Silver, of course, is the greatest conductor of heat and electricity, but copper comes in, I would say, a close second. Very close second. It's also a very flexible metal. It's a very useful metal in a variety of different industries, similar to silver, and if you can stack it for free, why not? It could be an easy way of getting your hands on more silver. You can cash out on the copper that you got for free and go and get some silver or gold with it if you want. Moving on over to the next metal, platinum. Now I'll talk about platinum and palladium at the same time, because a lot of the time they go hand in hand. A lot of people think of them as almost synonymous. They're definitely not, by the way. I don't have any palladium, and this is the only piece of platinum that I have, sent in from Bo. Thank you very much, Bo, for sending this my way. Really appreciate it. This is my very first piece of platinum. Now, I've been saying for a couple of years that I don't stack platinum, and I don't think I ever will stack platinum the way that I stack silver and gold. I'd been saying since 2018, 2019 that it would be fun to get a little platinum bar or maybe a little 10th ounce platinum American Eagle or something like that. It would be cool. It would be interesting. I could absolutely see myself doing that. And I respect platinum and palladium for diversification purposes. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. I personally don't stack it because I think I want to keep a majority of my attention on silver and gold. But hey, absolutely nothing wrong with stacking other types of metals as well. Hence why I stack copper over there, but I only really stack it because for me it's free. Platinum and palladium, by the way, is just simply another way of mixing and matching it up. It's simply a way of diversifying. You don't want to keep all your eggs in one basket, so if you're stacking silver and gold exclusively, I guess technically you could say you're keeping all your eggs in 2 baskets. So why not have a third basket? A little bit of platinum, a little bit of palladium, a little bit of copper, if that's what you choose to do. Now, of course, relying on silver, gold, platinum, palladium, maybe even rhodium, of course they're different metals for different reasons, and of course they are in different baskets. Like we said, you don't want to keep all your eggs in one basket. But technically, you could argue that they're all in the precious metal basket. They all go hand in hand in that way, which is why I think it's also important to diversify in other realms. For those of you who have the currency to do it, and by the way, we're going to get into currency momentarily, but for those of you who have the currency to get involved in potentially real estate, simply buying farmland even, doesn't have to be a bunch of rental properties, you don't have to own apartment complexes or anything like that. It's another idea. The stock market is another way to diversify. Plenty of different ways you can invest like that. You can start a business and become a little bit more self-reliant. Diversify your income streams. There's all different ways of financial diversification, but that's a story for a different video. I wanted to talk about stack diversification today. So, moving away from the beautiful white metal, moving away from the beautiful yellow metal, moving away from the beautiful red metal, and moving away from miscellaneous metals such as platinum, palladium, and rhodium, let's stop talking about metal for a moment. And let's talk about currency. Let's talk about, I can't even call it the beautiful green piece of paper like I would the beautiful yellow metal or red metal or something like that. The beautiful currency. Now, anybody who knows me knows that I'm not really a big fan of currency. I don't like to hold on to very much of it. Not to say that I get paid a whole lot of it. I'm not going to sit here pretending that I'm a millionaire or that I make, $200,000 a year by any means. Absolutely not. But the currency that I do earn in exchange for my time, obviously first things first, got to pay the bills. But second thing is second, taking care of my finances and my future. See, whatever currency is left over, I don't care if it's $100, I don't care if it's $1,000, I don't care if it's $15. I like to take a portion of it and invest it. I like to take a portion of it and just keep it as cash, just because you need to have an emergency fund. I like to take a portion of it and purchase things that I know will save me currency in the long run. But the most important thing that I do with leftover currency is convert it into silver and gold. See, the dollars, these are just a tool. And I don't really like to keep much of them just because they depreciate in value. They're unproductive when they're just sitting there. See, a lot of people say cash is king. I would disagree with that. I would say cash alone is trash. But cash put to work, put into a productive asset, something that produces cash flow, or something that stores value, I would say that is king. Cash alone, these right here in my hand, meaningless. No intrinsic value, backed by absolutely nothing but hopes and dreams. They're losing purchasing power every second of every minute of every hour of every day of every week of every month of every year of every decade. Since the creation. The more they print, the weaker these become. So why do I stack them if they're unproductive to just sit there? Why do I stack them if they're losing purchasing power? Well, truth is, I don't really stack currency. I have an emergency fund. I have a little bit of cash that I leave in a checking account just to make online payments. I have a little bit of cash that I keep locked away, grab and go, kind of like bug out bags and prepping supplies. Little bit of cash on hand in the event of an emergency, if something were to go wrong. Now, of course, I have the silver and the gold. So one could say, well, if you have all the precious metals, if you have the real money, what do you even need the currency for? And my answer to that would be convenience. I would rather not have to go through the hassle of lugging my metals on over to a coin shop to sell them for cash when I could just simply hold on to a little tiny bit of cash. See, that's what's important to me. Convenience. Something that's practical. Not to say that the silver and gold are not practical, or are not convenient, or are not easy to liquidate. I would say, and I've always said, that silver and gold are just as liquid as cash. If you need cash, take that little piece of plastic debit card to the bank, withdraw some cash. Or if you need some cash, take a little piece of silver to the coin shop and trade it for cash. Takes the same amount of time. Virtually no difference between the two. You're being your own bank. Either way you go. So why do I hold on to the cash if I can do that? To be honest with you, 2020 had a lot to do with that decision. Reason for that is because in 2020, when a lot of people needed to liquidate, when a lot of people needed to cash out, when a lot of people needed to convert their money back into currency, at least if you live where I live, in paranoid New Jersey, where almost everything was shut down. Now keep in mind, shutdowns, lockdowns are not typical. They're not the norm. That doesn't happen on a regular basis. But evidently it can happen. And guess what? My local coin shop was not deemed essential. I couldn't go to the coin shop. They were closed. They had a sign on the door. Closed until further notice. No appointments. No one person at a time. You couldn't go in if you covered your face up. No, they were shut down. Lights were off, doors were locked. They were down for the count for most of the year. I think they were down for like 8, 9, maybe 10 months. Completely out. Which proved a lot to me. Of course, the local coin shop could be seen as a bank to those of us who stack silver and gold, but things in the world can happen and we can lose access to the coin shop. Similar to how we can lose access to an ATM or lose access to the bank. It's happened to me before. It's happened to me a couple of times actually. I stopped by the ATM and it says out of order. How is that even possible? I've done mobile banking and the app was going through maintenance, so I couldn't even sign in from my phone. Okay, no big deal. What about online banking? There have been times where online banking was down as well. And obviously, if it's late at night or the weekend, then the bank itself is not open. So what were to happen if it's a Saturday, the bank is closed, the ATM is down, mobile banking and online banking are both not working, all at the same time? You could have $1 million in the bank, but guess what? You might as well call yourself broke, because if you don't have access to any of it, then you don't have any of it. It's not in your possession. And guess what? That could happen. It's happened before. Could happen again. And I hope to God it doesn't happen during an emergency situation where you need cash, which is why I stack a little bit of cash. It's for convenience. It's just in case. Just like anything else, any other prepping supply. Better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. But I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know your thoughts on everything shared in today's video. How are you diversifying the stack? Are you stacking any industrial metals like copper? Are you stacking any miscellaneous precious metals like platinum, palladium, maybe even rhodium? Are you stacking a little bit of cash? Or are you all in on precious metals? And if anybody's interested in joining the Precious Metals VIP Club, it's where I can do things on my own terms, not on YouTube's terms, my terms. I'm hosting privately held live streams. They're smaller and easier to manage. I'm posting exclusive VIP-only adventure vlogs. I also do giveaways, discounts, personalized promo codes, shoutouts, deal alerts when silver and gold is on sale on a variety of different websites. And of course, you can watch all of my videos early and commercial free. Come join the Precious Metals VIP Club. It'll be the first link in the description. You're invited. I'd be happy to have you. And if you guys enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button. If you guys like me, make sure to hit that subscribe button like a Karen hits a bus window. Also subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for exclusive weekly content. A bunch of brand new videos over there. Go check them out. The link will be in the description. Trying really hard to hit 3,000 subscribers. We just hit 2,000, and I appreciate that. And if you want to help support the channel in the biggest possible way, please consider getting yourself some DYDSS merchandise. Of course, we have some precious metal themed t-shirts and hoodies, which are up for grabs, along with a ton of other products. T-shirts, hoodies, even stickers, many of which are raising funds and awareness for different charity organizations, such as the recently released Kraken Stackin' t-shirt, hoodie, sticker, and coffee mug, inspired by the beautiful 2-ounce silver Kraken coin, which, by the way, is helping us raise a little bit of funds and awareness for ocean cleanup charity organizations. And of course, the brand new DYDSS Lone Wolf t-shirt, hoodie, sticker, coffee mug, and long sleeve tee, available in 4 different colors, and a portion of the proceeds are going towards the International Wolf Center. Any and all merchandise can be found by clicking the first link in the description section down below. Thank you in advance, it's more than appreciated. And I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know once again, when it comes to everything shared in today's video, what are your thoughts? Do you think it's important to have a little bit of cash physically in your possession? Do you think it's important to have an emergency fund? Maybe your emergency fund is 100% in the bank's possession. It's FDIC insured, I understand that. But do you understand the importance of having some cash on hand? Some cash that's not in the bank? And then when it comes to some industrial metals such as copper, stack any of this? Do you convert your dollars into it? Do you stack it when it's free, like I do? What about little platinum or palladium or even rhodium coins, rounds, and bars, simply for diversification to mix and match it up? And then, of course, silver and gold, which the overwhelming majority of people who watch my videos are interested in and stack and are drawn to. What are your thoughts on diversification when it comes to anything and everything related to today's video topic? Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. And remember, don't you dare stop smiling. Peace.